All right, so today we're diving into something pretty fascinating, something with some serious potential impact. We're talking about Aether.
Yeah, Aethir. It's really interesting.
It's one of those things that's kind of on the cutting edge, and to be honest, it took me a little while to wrap my head around it.
Yeah, I hear you.
But once you understand the core concept, it's like, whoa, this could be huge.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got the potential to really shake things up, especially in the world of AI.
Exactly, which is why we're doing a deep dive on it today. Now, I've got to give a shout out to our expert here. They've gone above and beyond, digging through articles, white papers, even like deep into Aethir's own blog posts.
Had to do my due diligence, right?
Oh yeah, some serious research went into this. So let's start at the very beginning. For those who might not be familiar, what exactly is Aethir trying to do? What problem are they trying to solve?
Okay, so in the simplest terms, Aethir wants to change how we access and use computing power, especially the kind of power needed for, like, really demanding tasks.
We're talking like hardcore AI stuff, right? It's
Right.
kind of processing power that doesn't exactly come cheap.
You hit the nail on the head. We're in the middle of this AI explosion. It's everywhere, right?
It's wild. Like every day there's a new AI this or a new AI that. It's pretty mind-blowing, to be honest.
Yeah, it's exciting. But here's the thing. All this amazing AI requires a crazy amount of processing power. We're talking high-end GPUs.
Oh yeah, those things are beasts.
Yeah.
And I bet they cost a pretty penny too.
They do. And that creates a bit of a problem because right now the supply of these GPUs is, well, it's limited and it's mostly controlled by a few big players.
Okay, so you've got this essential resource that's in high demand, but controlled by a select few. That sounds like a recipe for, well, some issues, to say the least.
Exactly. It creates a situation where it's mainly the big tech companies who have the resources to develop and, let's be honest, control AI. Smaller companies, startups, even individual researchers, they're kind of at a disadvantage.
It's like an AI wealth gap almost. Those with the most processing power get to shape the future of AI. Not exactly the most equitable situation.
Right. And that's where Aethir comes in. They're trying to level the playing field by decentralizing access to this crucial computing power.
Decentralizing. That's a word we hear a lot these days, especially in the tech world. But in this context, what does it actually mean?
So instead of relying on those few big companies with their massive data centers, Aethir wants to create a network where anyone can contribute their processing power.
So, like my gaming PC at home that's sitting there most of the time, could I actually put it to work, make it part of this Aethir network?
That's the idea. It's like pooling resources, creating a kind of people-powered cloud.
Whoa. Okay, so instead of a handful of tech giants calling the shots, we've got, like, a distributed network of computers all working together. That's pretty radical, actually.
Right. And that's the power of decentralization. It can potentially make technology more accessible, more affordable, and honestly, more democratic.
I'm starting to see why this is such a big deal. It's not just about, like, making AI run faster. It's about changing who gets to participate in the AI revolution.
Exactly. And that's just scratching the surface of what Aethir is trying to achieve. They've got some really ambitious goals and some fascinating tech behind it.
All right, well, let's dig into that. We've laid the groundwork. But how does Aethir actually pull this off? What makes their approach unique? So Aethir, they're not just about, like, lofty ideals, are they? They're actually building something here. How does it all work on a technical level?
You're right. They're not just talking the talk, they're walking the walk. At its core, Aethir is built on this concept of a decentralized network. Imagine, like a global web of computers, all linked together, all contributing their processing power.
Kind of like those projects where people donate their computer's idle time to, like, search for alien signals or model protein folding.
Exactly. Except Aethir is taking it to a whole other level. They're focusing on high-performance computing, the kind needed for things like AI and complex simulations.
Okay, so we've got this network of computers all raring to go. But how do they actually make it work? How do they ensure that everything's secure, reliable, all that good stuff?
That's where blockchain comes in. Think of it as the backbone of the whole Aethir ecosystem.
Blockchain. Okay, so we're going full on crypto here.
In a way, yeah. But it's not about, like, trading Bitcoin or anything like that. Aethir uses blockchain for a few key things. First, transparency. Every transaction, every bit of data, it's all recorded on the blockchain for everyone to see.
So, like, a public ledger keeping track of everything.
Precisely. And because of the way blockchain works, it's incredibly secure, very difficult to tamper with. Second, it's all about incentives.
Okay, incentives, I get that. You got to give people a reason to join your network, right?
Exactly. When you contribute your computing power to Aethir, You earn rewards in their native token, AHT.
AC, got it. So is that like getting paid to let people use your computer?
Yeah, you could think of it that way. It creates this like symbiotic relationship. Users get access to affordable, powerful computing resources, and providers, those with the hardware, well, they get rewarded for sharing their
It's
resources.
like Airbnb, but for GPUs.
All of it.
So let's break it down a little further. Let's say I'm a user who needs some serious processing power for, I don't know, maybe I'm training a new AI model to like write the next great American novel or something. How do I actually use the Aethir network?
Okay, so you'd go through what they call the Aethir marketplace. It's like it's where supply meets demand. You specify your requirements, like how much processing power you need, how long you need it for, any specific hardware, software requirements.
And the marketplace kind of matches me with the best provider for the job.
Right. They've got these sophisticated algorithms that match you with the most suitable providers based on things like performance, availability, even your budget.
So it's like, it's finding me the perfect GPU matchmaker.
Yeah.
This is amazing. But what about latency? Because I know with like cloud gaming and stuff, latency can be a real killer. You don't want your game lagging in the middle of a boss fight, right?
That's actually one of Aethir's biggest strengths, their focus on low latency. They understand how crucial it is, especially for things like gaming and real-time applications.
So how do they pull that off? How do you reduce latency on a network that's like spread out across the entire planet?
Part of it is their tech. They've built this really impressive global network optimized for speed and efficiency, but it also comes down to those matching algorithms we talked about.
Right, right. So it's not just about finding me any old provider. It's about finding me the one that's geographically closest or has the best connection.
Exactly. The system is designed to minimize those delays, those frustrating lags as much as possible. And that opens up a whole world of possibilities. We're talking about things like truly immersive, cloud-based gaming experiences, real-time AI interactions, the kind of stuff that used to be the realm of science fiction.
Okay, so low latency, that's a major plus for Aethir. It's like they're building the Autobahn of computing power. Fast, efficient, no speed limits. I like it.
It's a good analogy. But it's not just about speed, right? It's about what that speed enables. It's about making these incredible technologies accessible to anyone, anywhere.
Democratizing access, just like we were talking about at the beginning. All right, so we've covered how the network works, the role of blockchain, their focus on low latency. It's a lot to take in, but I feel like we're starting to get a good grasp of what makes Aethir tick. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's bring it back down to earth for a second. What are some of the actual tangible use cases for this technology? So we've talked about the potential, the big picture stuff, but where's the rubber meeting the road? What can people actually do with Aethir right now?
Well, one of the most exciting areas is AI, unsurprisingly. Specifically, training AI models.
Okay, so the brains behind all those cool AI tools we keep hearing about.
Exactly. Training those models takes a massive amount of processing power, the kind that can make even a high-end gaming PC sweat.
Yeah, I can imagine. My computer starts sounding like a jet engine if I try to play the latest game on high settings.
Right. But with Aethir, researchers, developers, even just like AI enthusiasts, they can tap into this vast, decentralized network of GPUs and train their models way faster and more efficiently.
So it's like giving AI developers superpowers. They're not limited by their own hardware anymore.
Exactly. And that levels the playing field, making AI development accessible to a much wider range of people, not just those with deep pockets.
I like it. Democratizing AI, just like we were talking about earlier.
Precisely. And it's not just about training. Once those models are trained, you need to actually use them, right? That's called AI inferencing.
Inferencing, okay.
Oh.
So like putting those AI brains to work in the real world.
Exactly. And Aethir's low latency is a game changer here. It enables things like super fast image recognition, real-time language translation, even personalized recommendations, all happening instantly.
Okay, that's impressive. We're talking about AI that can actually keep up with us, react in real time. That's where things start to feel really futuristic.
Absolutely. But beyond AI, Aethir is also making waves in another area close to my heart, gaming.
Gaming. Okay, now you're speaking my language. I'm guessing this ties back into that low latency thing we talked about.
100%.
Okay.
With Aethir, you could potentially stream the most graphically demanding games on any device, even your phone.
Wait, seriously, I could be playing like Cyberpunk 2077 with all the bells and whistles on my phone, and it wouldn't be a laggy mess.
That's the idea. All the heavy lifting, all that processing power, it's happening on Aethir's network, not on your device. So you get the experience of high-end gaming without needing the expensive hardware.
That's a game changer, literally. Especially for people who can't afford to drop thousands on a top-of-the-line gaming PC. It's like democratizing gaming, too.
Exactly. It's about making these incredible experiences accessible to everyone, regardless of their budget or their location.
I love it. Okay, so we've covered AI, we've covered gaming. What other use cases are out there? What else can Aether do?
Well, anything that requires a lot of processing power is fair game. We're talking about things like scientific simulations, 3D rendering, even financial modeling.
So Aether is kind of like this Swiss Army knife of computing power.
Yeah,
Need something processed, they've got you covered.
that's a great way to put it. And as more and more industries embrace these computationally intensive technologies, Aether is really well positioned to, ride that wave.
It's like they're building the infrastructure for the future, even if we don't know exactly what that future holds.
Right. They're creating the platform for innovation, and that's incredibly exciting.
It really is. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap things up. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the technical nitty-gritty to the mind-blowing potential of Aether.
It's been quite the deep dive.
It really has. So for our listener, if you're interested in the future of AI, gaming, and honestly, the future of how we access and use computing power, Aether is definitely one to watch. This is The Deep Dive, signing off.